This is Mary. Welcome to the IHC Craft Room. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful holiday clothespin wreath. It's perfect for beginners and fun to make with kids. And the best part is, you can get all the materials that you need at your local dollar store. So, are you ready to get started? Let's do this! So, what are you going to need to make this beautiful wreath? We're going to start off with a 14-inch wire wreath base that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. 3 packs of 36 clothespins, which is more than we're going to need, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. Some holiday themed wire edged ribbon. Look at how cute this guy is. I fell in love. He came home with me. I got him on clearance at Costco, but really any wire edged ribbon will do. It does not have to be fancy. Next, we're going to need some Chenille stems. I like to call these guys pipe cleaners. And some acrylic paint. Red and white I picked up at Dollarama and the green at Dollar Tree. And last but not least, the star of the show, this holiday theme sign. Look at how cute this guy is. He's such a cutie pie. He's known for the holidays, and we are ready to begin. Now we just need our tools. In terms of tools, I'm going to be using a ruler or something to measure with, a pair of scissors. We need a paintbrush, as well as I'm going to be using a dotting tool, but that's not strictly necessary. I'll show you an alternative shortly. A paint palette or something to put your paint in, and 2 plastic dishes. I will explain their significance very soon. A pair of rubber gloves, which you're definitely going to need. The evil glue gun that keeps burning my hands. A cup of water and a wet rag. So let's have a look at the wreath ring quickly to determine how many clothespins we're going to need for the whole wreath. Overall, there are 6 different sections on the wreath base. And within each section, it can hold 14 different clothespins. So let's do a little bit of math. It'll be fun, I swear. We have 6 sections with 14 clothespins per section, giving us a total of 84 clothespins. But I always recommend adding an additional 2 clothespins per color just in case something goes wrong. On this wreath, we're going to use white as our accent color. So we're going to need 3 white clothespins per section, 18 in total. I wanted to make the outer ring red, so we're going to need 6 red clothespins per section for that, giving us a total of 36 red. And the inner ring will be green with 5 green clothespins per section, 30 in total. That will make sure that our wreath is balanced and we don't have duplicate colors side by side. Let's get started painting our clothespins. There are lots of different ways that you could go about doing this. Some people like to spray paint their clothespins. Other people like to take them apart, pop the coil off, paint each piece individually, let them dry and put them back together again. Another option is painting just the front and back as it's clipped to the cardboard that it comes in. I find that the most inconvenient personally because I'm just a sloppy painter and I end up getting so much paint on the cardboard that it disintegrates, gets stuck to the inside of the clothespin, and it makes quite the mess. So that's not normally the route that I take. As you can see, my preference is to use these plastic dishes. I picked them up from the dollar store in the children's section, and they're just really convenient. I can clip the clothespins to the side and paint them, flipping the dish from one side to the other, just ensuring that I get a good, nice bit of coverage, and it's just easy to move things around. And I also find that after I'm done and everything's dry, I can unclip them very easily and clean the plate without any major issue, and it's basically good as new. I prefer to cover the entire clothespin in paint. I do 1 coat of paint on each side, and then I do 2 coats of paint on the front and on the back of each clothespin. I also paint the bottoms and on the inside and the very tippy top. Every single part of that clothespin is covered in paint. And it takes a long time. It is more tedious than it would be if you did a really quick coat. And I'm sure there's lots of people that will not go about it this way. But this is the way I like to paint my clothespins. I like to have full coverage all the way around. This green paint was not really delivering in that department. And I debated about going back and doing a 3rd coat, but ultimately I decided that because I'm going to be dot painting these, it's really not going to matter all that much. I'm going to begin with using my dotting tool, but I'm quickly going to switch over to a paintbrush because you can easily do that if you don't have a dotting tool available to you. Just flip your paintbrush over and dip it in the paint. You'll get a beautiful dot out of that. And really, we're just trying to add a little bit of interest to these clothespins. They don't have to be perfectly spaced out. There's no requirement to have everything perfectly aligned. It's just to add a little bit of fun polka dots, and it ties it nicely into the present that the gnome is holding in our Gnome for the Holiday sign. We're ready to start putting our clothespins on the base, and we're going to start with the color red to begin our pattern, using the second and third ring of the wreath base to clip it onto. Next, we'll put on the green, followed by the red, and we're going to continue that pattern until we get to our white accent color. So the pattern we're trying to make here has 6 total red clothespins. There's going to be 3 on either side of the white accent clothespins. So that's the way the pattern will continue to progress. Red, green, red, green, red, white, 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 red, green, red, green, red, green. Now, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy watching these things get put together, sped up. So let's take a moment to enjoy the base wreath getting put together in sped up time. Now that we have our base wreath ready to go, let's start working on the sign. Let's cut the string off first and then flip it over, and we're gonna adhere the pipe cleaners to the back using some hot glue. So first, let me warn you, hot glue, she's very hot. I've burned my hands more than a few times in the last few weeks. So warning, hot glue's hot. Now you'll see here that I like to put my pipe cleaners in a little pool of hot glue, and then I push it down with the back of my paintbrush. I just really want to make sure that the pipe cleaner is fully in the glue. Now I will come back later once the glue has dried and add another dollop of glue on top. That will make sure that the pipe cleaner is completely encased in the glue and hopefully really make sure that it adheres to the back of the sign so that it's not going to go anywhere. Now it's time to work on our bow. We're going to need a pipe cleaner, pair of scissors, and the ribbon, of course. The first thing we need to determine is if this ribbon is double-sided. This particular ribbon is not. There is only one side that is vibrant and shiny and beautiful. The other is much more faded. So we want to make sure that that shiny, beautiful side is facing down. That's very important. First, we're going to make a loop on the left-hand side, a small loop, followed by another loop on the right-hand side that's pretty much identical in size. This is the beginning of our bow. You want to make sure you hold that down, and then we're going to scrunch the ribbon up right there in the center, give it a twist, and flip it over. This will put our good side of the ribbon, again, facing down, which is what we need so it's facing out on our bow. Next, we're going to do a finger width to create the next row of loops. This is just to make it slightly bigger than the row in front of it. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, lay it out, and then scrunch up your ribbon, give it a twist, flip it over, and put that good side facing down. Very important. I'm going to pick up my ribbon roll again and bring it over to the other side. But first, I'm going to free up my hands and use my scissors. Ask me why I didn't do that sooner. I don't know. Again, we're going to scrunch up the ribbon, flip it over, good side down, finger width, put that ribbon over again, and we're going to just continue this process until we have about 4 loops so that our ribbon and bow are quite big. Okay, so we're at the point of cutting this ribbon. We're done now. I'm just going to hold it down to make sure we don't lose track of all of those beautiful loops. Scrunch up the center and hold it between your fingers, and then thread the pipe cleaner through, bend it back, and twist that pipe cleaner in place. Now we're going to fluff up these loops and try to make them as even as possible so that the bow has balance, and ensure that the pretty side is facing out. Now we're going to cut a length of ribbon to make our tail. I just eyeballed it here, but you can use a ruler to cut anywhere from 12 to 16 inches to give you a nice long tail. I'm going to tie it to the back of the ribbon using the existing pipe cleaner that I have here, and make sure that that good side is facing forward. Now it's time to fishtail the bottom. I'm just going to fold it over and cut it on an angle, giving it a lovely fishtail finish. And now comes the fun part. It's time to fluff. Fluff, fluff, reposition, move it again, fluff it some more. Oh, it's not fluffy enough, fluff it some more. Are you done? No, not me. Fluff some more. Who doesn't love fluffing a ribbon? Come on, fluffing a bow, it's a good time. Okay, I think we're done fluffing. The bow is ready. So we're finally at the part where we're putting everything together. This is the part I know I've been waiting for. So flip over your sign and make sure that that glue is super duper dry before you do this. And you're going to thread the pipe cleaners through the wreath base and give them a couple of quick twists. You're not securing it tightly yet because we want to make sure that the sign is positioned exactly where we want it so that you can see your accent colors and that the actual sign is around the center point of your wreath. When you're happy with the position, flip it back over, give them a few more twists, and clip them short. You're done. Now we're going to do the same thing with our bow. We're going to thread the pipe cleaner through the wreath frame in the perfect spot, flip it over, and give it several good twists. This one I'm securing tightly because I don't want to have to keep monkeying around with my bow and smushing it. So once we get it face side up, the next thing is to glue down those tails to cover up that hole from our sign. Again, guys, reminder, hot glue. Watch your fingers. So we've got these in the perfect spot. And now my favorite part, it's time to fluff the bow again. Fluff, 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 fluff. Are you enjoying it? I know I'm enjoying it. Hold on. Here it comes. The final reveal. She's ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to be Gnome for the holidays? Thank you for joining me on this beginner-friendly wreath making adventure. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Share your thoughts in the comments and remember to subscribe for more fun projects as we continue to get crafty together. Toodleloo!